Roughneck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagoner Welding. Wagoner Welding is a family-owned and operated business located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. They specialize in custom-built truck beds and framework of all types. You can reach them at 336-670-3427 or visit the shop located at 446 DeHart Church Road.
Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another night of Fleeger Farm TV. Here tonight, we are with On the Pole once again, as we're here from Talladega, bringing you the James Wagoner Welding Gen 6 Series, as we see some practice taking some awry here as the 66 machine. Where'd that go? 66 machine of Jason Kinney getting flipped around. That was the number 38 of Jeff Scott, I believe, that I saw flipping up through the air there. Jason Kinney is there with broken right front at the moment. Crinkle way up there in that fender and spins it out down here on the apron as we got about a minute left here in the practice before qualifying commences here tonight. So as we wait for qualifying to commence, how about we take a shout out to yet another station sponsor here. We'll call it station sponsor for Fleeger Farm TV. Alrighty, we are back. Checkered flag is flown here in practice as we get set to roll here tonight at Talladega. Qualifying commencing. We're going to take a quick look here on the racetrack here tonight as our drivers are getting ready to roll. Here is our forecast for tonight. 135 degrees for a track temperature, 78 degrees for an ambient temperature, 45% humidity with partly cloudy skies and 2-mile-per-hour winds here tonight. As we see the 66 of Jason Kinney come rolling off of pit lane. He's going to get started here for his qualifying time. And from what I understand, that is a 1997 throwback to Kenny Irwin, if I remember correctly. If I get any of these wrong, please mention it in the chat. We will get it corrected. And if you know a paint, please let us know, as we might not know them all, as this is throwback night here at Roughneck Racing for the James Wagoner Welding Gen 6 Series, coming from Talladega. So John Houston out there in a Texaco Havoline machine. Mikey Davino out there in a number 8. Not sure exactly what that's a throwback to. Mike Addison out there in the 33 Skull machine. And forgive me, I know you told me who that was a throwback to, but I forget off the top of my head who it's a throwback to. Ace out there in a Earnhardt scheme. Half senior, half junior. James Wagoner out there in what looks to be a Kel Yarborough scheme. Jimmy Pilan out there in the number 29. Forgive me, I should know that one, but I slipped the top of my head right at the moment. We got 2.5 minutes. You see the time running in. Jason Kinney right now with the pole at 52.380. Take that back. Pilan Rowdy jumps to the top of the leaderboard with a 52.361. And that drops Kinney back to second place with a 52.380. Alex with a 52.395. Kai Shappert there with a 52.397. So as they come across, there's Adamson. He's going to put down a 52.355 in that Skull machine. We got lots of drivers still making it around the grid here. You see Matt coming around. Matt going to be up in fourth right now with a 52.387. Jeff Scott with a 52.401. John Houston with a 52.405. James Wagoner's currently sitting there in ninth with a 52.424. Adamson still on top, though, in that 33, as it stands right now with about a little over a minute left in qualifying here this evening from Talladega for the James Wagoner Welding Gen 6. Got a few drivers that are still needing to try to put down a time. As we're looking here, that looks like a Michael Waltrip scheme. And if you remember the old Napa days, they're in the number 746, Dale Adamson, running the Napa machine. Currently sitting in 13th with a 52.563. Going to try to pull around here and get a little bit quicker time. And we'll see if he does so here on this lap. Does a little bit better with a 52.427. Matt Warhol out on track in the mellow yellow number 79 here tonight. Currently sitting 15th with a 52.665. See if he gets any better. 52.481. So he's going to move himself up into 14th. Chris Ramsey out there in number 13 School Machine at School Bandit, and ran out of time for qualifying. So our grid is going to end up looking pretty good here tonight. Mike Adamson out there in first. Jimmy Palarowdy there will start second on the outside row. Jason Kinney is starting inside row number 2 and third, with Matthew Ace Barker there in his outside in fourth. Alex starting inside row number 3 and fifth position tonight, with Kai Shepard in that Petty painted machine starting on the outside of row number 3 and sixth position. Jeff Scott in that number 38 Combos machine starting in seventh inside row number 4. Outside to him is going to be in eighth position. That goes to John Houston in the number 28. James Wagoner in the number 30 machine will start inside row number 5 tonight in ninth. Andrew Smith in the number 4 machine starts on outside row number 5 and 10th, with Dale Adamson starting 11th inside row number 6. Outside row number 6 goes to Mikey Davino in that 8 machine starting 12th. And 13th is Chris Ramsey. And 14th, Matt Warhol with Alan Bergen there in 15th. Chris Phillips will start outside row number 8 and 16th. Row number 9 goes to Chris Melton on the inside in 17th position. Mark Morton, his outside in 18th. Row number 10, it's going to be Stephen Shue to the inside with Johnny Hurst to the outside. Row number 11 is going to be Tim Richardson in the inside with Jeffrey Ledford to his outside in 22nd. And that is going to be your starting grid here tonight. Well, everybody is looking great as they come rolling off of the grid here tonight, with Mike Adamson out front, Jimmy Palarowdy there's second, with Jason Kinney starting third in that 66 Tonka painted machine here tonight. Hope everybody's looking forward to a great night of racing here at Talladega. Hopefully the big one does not come our way, as we got 22 drivers gridded up and ready to take the green flag as we're currently working down the backstretch here. Again, we want to give our shout outs to Mag Real Estate, James Wagoner Welding for being such a great sponsor for the series and for this Roughneck League, along with Admin Box kind of being in the background as well, as they have a great product to help admins and drivers alike. Now, we're side by side coming through turn number 4. We're going to be getting ready to roll here in just a moment for some high-flying action here from Talladega. If anybody remembers watching us through practice, we saw the, it was the number something. It was back through the field there. Forget who it was. Well, there's a paint scheme I know. That's a Kyle Petty scheme. That Hot Wheels painted machine, that is going to be the, is that the 58 of Johnny Hurst is going in a Kyle Petty machine here tonight in that Hot Wheels painted machine. Mountain Dew 88. And we're green flag racing. Everybody gets off to a great start. Down here in the corner number 1 they come. Side by side, it's going to be Mike Adamson down there on the inside. Up there on the outside, it's that number 29, Jimmy Pilon. And down there on the inside lane, it's getting really strung out there. First through fourth now, getting a great run down there on the inside, with fourth now going to Jeff Scott, and third going to Alex. At outside lanes, got to try to get something going as James Wagner looking to the outside, trying to see if he's got any help. Does not, so he's going to duck it back down to the inside lane once again as they come around turns 1 and 2. Back here onto the backstretch. Way up top, we're 3 wide back here in the middle of the pack coming off of turn 4. Sorry, didn't realize I got flipped around so quickly there. As we're now back 2 by 2. Now we come working down here through the front stretch. Jason Kinney still out front. Jason Kinney is out front in that 66 machine, followed by the 38 of Jeff Scott. And that's who I was trying to think of in the practice whenever I said about high flying action. The 38 of Jeff Scott taking a big tumble in the practice session here before the race started. Jeff Scott now moves. I'm sorry, we're talking about Jeff Scott. James Wagoner up to third, and he's got Matthew there in fourth, looking to the inside, coming into corner number 3 and 4 as they're side by side, and he gets loose down here, and we may have problems as Matthew does come down, and we got a cars turned around. There's the 33 Skull Bandit machine. He's got turned around. And you see Matthew turned around as well. Mike Adamson involved. Matthew Ace involved. We go back and look at the replay here on the pole. As you see, Matt kind of gets a little loose, gets down there on the apron, has to try to chase it. The 33 also gets turned, so he ends up down the racetrack. Looks like Matt does okay as he tries to bring it back up. Not quite, though, as Adamson does come up the racetrack and collects the 58. Goes around, and there's significant damage there on that number 33 as they're working down the backstretch here. Everybody trying to get out of the way. Looks like we got Matt getting tagged again by the 13 of Chris Ramsey. Everybody shuffles around for position here. Chris saying refresh trading paints. I can certainly do that. Well, Chris, if you're watching and are able to type, are you able to tell me which car was not showing up correctly? Everybody single file. Let's see what we got going on here in Discord. See if we can grab any of the drivers. See which car we think might look best out here. People have made their pit stops. Oh, that one's an interesting one. If we can find him in chat, we'll see if we can get a word with him on what that paints to, but I'm not seeing him here. Lights still on. Good evening there, Jimmy. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah. I got you. What's up?
Well, I know you were going to be going green here very quickly, but
I got you.
yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully that works there, that we got that working. I know you're going green here very shortly, but I can't remember I know I should know this. I know when the 29 Good Wrench car came out about, but I can't remember who drove it.
It was Kevin Hart right after Dale died in '01.
I knew what, like I said, I knew when it came out. I just couldn't remember who drove it. I couldn't remember if it was Harvick or who it was. But it's a great looking
Yeah,
paint
it
scheme out
was
there.
Harvick.
Okay. Great looking paint scheme out there, and good luck to you here tonight. I was trying to find somebody to chat with who's got an interesting scheme, and because I know a good many of them out there.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Adam. Kevin Harvick and Dale Sr. were my two idols, so I had to go with the classic.
Oh, most definitely. Can't go wrong there. All right, good luck, Jimmy, as the race progresses.
All right, thank you, Adam. Oh,
All righty. So that's Jimmy Pilen there in that number 29. And like I said, the name slipped my head, but he is definitely right with it being a Kevin Harvick scheme. I just couldn't remember who it was. The 49. Okay, let's look at the 49 if we can get it. That's Chris Melton. Okay, that one's a throwback to Derek Cope. Hopefully I'm saying that right there, Chris. That's the one I was wanting to know about. I didn't see you there in the Discord. Otherwise, I would have tried to pull you in under caution to talk about that, because that is an interesting paint scheme. You don't see too many of that type of old school style paints anymore. As we're coming to the green flag, everybody's gone, and now you see the 66 of Jason Kinney drop to the inside lane, getting off to a good start on the outside, drops down in front of Jeff Scott. James Wagoner there in third. That's going to, looks like it's leaving the 43 of Kai Shepard out there all by his lonesome on the outside of the racetrack. Down here through turns 1 and 2, got the Texaco Havoline machine of Alex there on the inside, right behind him as we're on board with Alex coming down here into quarter number 3. You'll kind of see the drivers hug that bottom line. Now we're going to get two side-by-side racing as we come down here into quarter number 3. There goes 3 wide action as we work through 3 and 4 with, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was doing this. I'm on out. There we go. Sorry, I forgot I had the ticker to be put up there. Alex there in 5th, 3 wide now, as it looks like the 43 is pushing on James Wagner pretty good, coming down here in the corner, in through the tri-oval. Into corner number 1 now. 3 wide, 3 rows deep. As you got Jimmy up there on the outside, and just that quick, even though he don't look like it, he is currently sitting in 8th position right now because of the way the lines stack up as they come down the backstretch. That center lane really getting a move on now as James Wagner moves himself up there to the front. 3 wide action coming out of 4. Great shots here. Great racing. This takes a lot of skill. This is not easy to do, folks. For drivers to be able to put the cars 3 wide and be able to hold their lane, it's a rare sight to see, especially here on iRacing, as drivers just seem to get a little antsy. As we're almost wanted 4 wide, as the Mellow Yellow machine looked up there, and we got one in the wall, trying to see who that is. That looks to be Jimmy Pilen up there into the outside wall. No caution as he gets it down off. Great heads up driving there by everybody. Yeah, I don't see any mark here to go back to it. But Pilen really getting that outside wall there, coming off of 2, I guess it was. Everybody worked down here in the tri-oval. James Wagner out front with Kai Shepard there 2nd. Alex there 3rd with Dale Adamson 4th. Down here, across the stripe, down here in the corner number 1 they come now. Side-by-side racing. You got the 66 of Jason Kinney up there on the outside, being pushed along by the 38 of Jeff Scott. Johnny Hurst in the number 58 down there on the inside in that Napa machine. Or I'm sorry, no, he's on the outside in the Hot Wheels machine. Sorry. That is the 746 of Dale Adamson. with the Napa painted machine. Throwback to, like I said, to Michael Waltrip. Everybody worked down through the backstretch. Oh, I'm sorry, that was off of 4 down here onto the front stretch. Boy, I'm getting really turned around tonight. Yeah, everybody doing a wonderful job keeping the cars going in the direction they need to. As we see the 33, Mike Adamson's school machine up there on the outside, taking a peek to the outside of Johnny Hurst, but not really sure if he wants to pull that one off. Here comes Chris Melton now, down there on the inside, and that Derek Cope throwback. Jeffrey Ledford down there into the pits already, with Mikey Davino as well. Piling back here in the back, trying to catch up. There you see John Houston in that number 28 machine. Great looking throwbacks here tonight from the and you want to, we could possibly try to put a vote out there on who you think has the best throwback here tonight. As we look back through the field again, you got James Wagoner out there in that Cale Yarborough machine. You got the Kai Shepard in the Richard Petty 43 Cheerios machine. There's the 88 machine for the driven by Mark Morton here tonight. Throwback to Dale Jr. Mellow Yellow. Sorry, I recognize the car, but I can't remember who drove it. Matt Warhol. And as who's driving it tonight. Now you got that number 4 of Andrew Smith up there, and we got the 43. Oh no, the Napa machine is loose. Dale Adamson's around. We got more calamity happening back here. Wow, what a heads-up move there as Dale went off a track. And I do have a little bit of a replay of this one, courtesy of On the Pole. As we'll watch here. As they come out of the corner, you'll see the 66 get into the back of the 746. 46 come back up the racetrack, keeps it down almost. Got to check up here on the bottom side. He's got it loose. The 38 of Jeff Scott is loose as well, as Napa gets another tap from the 66 of Jason Kinney. Everybody choked up, gets it back underway. Everybody keeps it straight for the most part, and we stay green here at Talladega, keeping it running. And that's going to spell trouble, though, for some of these drivers as they've lost the draft, as this track becomes a very difficult one to win if you're not in that draft up here towards the front, or at least in the pack. It could be anybody's race as long as you're in that pack. Now you see that number 30 there of James Wagoner. Falling back there to 7th. Up there on the outside, we got a pack of about 9 cars here, up here, as everybody else is kind of strung out across the racetrack. There you see a Terry Labonte throwback, along with the Hooters 00, driven by Stephen Chu. Not sure who had the Hooters machine. I reckon, again, it's another paint scheme I recognize. I just can't put a name to it. There's a Rusty Wallace, if I've got it correct. Number 2. Driven tonight by Tim Richardson. Jeffrey Ledford looks like he may be out of this one. And here comes the lead pack, already chasing down the rear end of this group, I think. Well, not quite. I thought they were, but maybe not. As they work around the racetrack here. Off of lap number 15 is currently what we're currently working on. Now we've got Mark Morton out front. There you see the 58 of Johnny Hurst on the outside there in that Kyle Petty painted Hot Wheels machine. And I may be wrong in saying this, but that 89, I wonder if he just made it red. Kind of a throwback to Junior's colors. As you see there on the 96 of Ace. He's got 3 on one side, the 8 on the other. On here in the corner number 3 once again, here at lap number 16, as we work around the 2.5 mile racetrack, I believe. Let me double check that. I believe it's 2.5 miles. Okay, a little over 2.5 mile, as we're on board here with the number 96, Barker. And you see the 30 of James Wagoner now back up to third. And that's how quickly things can happen here at Talladega. You can go and drop back to like 7th or 8th, and within a lap and a half, 2 laps, you can be back up fighting for the lead once again. As we see Chris Melton up there towards the front as well, and that number 49 machine, as everybody works down the backstretch single file in this front group. As we're looking at Matthew Ace Barker, working down here through the corner, and we see the 89, of Alan Bergen down there on the inside, trying to get that inside side draft to work down there on the bottom side. And everybody's running a little bit higher line now. As we see 2 drivers a little farther back, I think that's Alex Scott and the 8 of Mikey Davino running together right now. Mikey Davino is a lap down as it stands right now. At least 1 lap down. Everybody's working down through the turns 1 and 2. We see Jeff Scott there leading this pack with Jason Kinney there currently sitting in 11th. So Jeff Scott in 10th. Stephen Chu there in 12th. Chris Phillips down here in this pack along with Mike Adamson and Kai Schappert. Tim Richardson running all by him lonesome right now. Same with Dale Adamson. The 13 of Chris Ramsey's also running by himself. We got Jimmy Pyland and John Houston running together. Trying to gather some cars up, trying to work their way back up there to this group, who Johnny Hurst is currently leading the way with Chris Melton there in second. James Wagoner there in third. Some great looking paint schemes, like I said, out here tonight on these race cars. Wonderful wraps done. As they come storming down here in the corner number 3 once again. And you got the old school paint schemes out there in the top 3. Old school paints on new school bodies. Now, as the Gen 6 series here tonight, brought to you by the James Wagoner Welding out of North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. We also have My Grill Estate and Admin Box also as sponsors, and we're going to possibly see about adding a little bit to that if we can. We're going to talk to the admins after the race. Johnny Hurst being pushed along here by Chris Melton down the backstretch. Now, pushing along like that's okay, but you just got to make sure that you're not pushing too hard, as you want to make sure that you're not going to blow that engine up. You get pushing too hard, it's going to block your air off. You're going to have to duck out and cool that engine off. That's why you kind of see him ducking out there up the racetrack a little bit, and they kind of stagger going through some of these corners. And that is so that you can get the air onto that radiator a little bit to help cool that engine down, because as you're as tight as what Melton is to Hurst, you can end up getting a little bit of problems with the temperature gauge raising as you push down the straightaways here. As they snake on down through the backstretch, we got, it looks like a group of cars starting to come up together. That is going to be John Houston, Jimmy Pyland, and I'm trying to figure out who the other one is. There it is. Chris Ramsey in the number 13 School Bandit machine working down here through the trioval. They are all three working together trying to stay on the lead lap. As there you see Johnny Hurst up there in front, followed by Chris Melton, James Wagoner, and Matthew Ace Barker with Mark Morton there in fifth. Try to see where the other group is. There's the other group being led along now by Jeff Scott. Jason Kinney there in the second in that number 66 Tonka machine. Stephen Shue in 12th. With Chris Phillips 13th. Mike Adamson there in 14th. And Kai Shappert 15th. And Kai Shappert's the last one in that group. So definitely got a split on the racetrack. And if we will bring up our map, if the map will come up correctly, you'll see the split. There it is. You got a couple cars in the middle. That's the 89. I'm trying to figure out where the 89 is. That's what we're looking at there. Is how close. That's how close this group is. Right there going across the front stretch. And then we got the second group starting with Jeff Scott. Back here as they go three wide. Coming across the stripe down here into quarter number 1 is that second group. And this third group, who has the number 2 of Tim Richardson out front, could be in trouble if they don't soon to get to single file. As they're battling along, and there you see Chris Phillips back here in amongst some of the back of that group. Tim Richardson, John Houston, Jimmy Pilon, Chris Ramsey, and Dale Adamson back here at the back are at jeopardy of going lap down to the leaders who are all barreling down on them. Especially since they're single file, they're going to have a lot more speed and momentum as they come storming down through here on the back stretch. Down here in the corner number 3 and 4. And there you see the number 2 of Richardson trying to catch up to the rest of that pack to try to maybe start pushing their way away from that lead pack. And there you see Adamson trying to gather it up. And right behind him, there you see that train coming. That is the lead pack. Led on by Johnny Hurst out there in that 58 machine. Hot Wheels throwback. Oh, it shows my age a little bit. I remember watching... I remember seeing the Hot Wheels car. I remember seeing a School Bandit car of some sort whenever I started watching races. I definitely remember that number 2. Rusty Wallace. If I'm mentioning them correctly. Again, if I'm wrong, somebody correct me. We're on board with Alex there in that front pack or second pack as they're single file trying to chase down that front pack who is working their way through the lap traffic as Dale Adamson has fallen back here a lap down, as I think he's struggling a little bit with that race car trying to get it back up there into that draft. As that pack went by him pretty quickly, he's going to struggle getting back up there as we're on board there in that Cale Yarborough machine driven tonight by James Wagoner out of North Wilkesboro. Down here in the corner number 1 and 2 here on lap number 26. A third of the way through this race tonight. As we are green flag racing, trying to catch all the action we can here tonight. As Kai Shappert is in the middle of this pack, being led on by Jeff Scott in that number 38. Oh, I'm sorry, Jason Kinney is out front in that number 66 machine with Jeff Scott there in 10th. So 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Trying to see who ends that pack, and it looks like it's going to be We got the Highland Rowdy, Houston. So Shoe is going to be the last one in that second pack. As the leaders are coming down pit road, and look at Matt. He is all over the place bringing it in. There comes the 746 Joey Adamson in as well, along with Tim Richardson, who are both lapped down at the moment. Don't want to lose too much time here on pit road. A mistake there. I'm trying to see. That looks to be the number 4 machine having a mistake there on pit road. Happened to back it up. And they're down and away. Mark Morton winning the race off pit road. Johnny Hurst, oh no, gets loose coming off pit road. They got to collect it all back up. He's going to try to get it going again. There he goes. He's now back running again as they come off of pit road. Heading down here in the corner number 1. Down there on the apron, there you see everybody else coming back into pit lane as Mike Adamson, Kai Shepard's coming in. Mike Adamson staying out for another lap in that 33 School Machine. There you see the 8 of Mikey Davino as well. Sitting there, currently lapped down in the back. Matt lapped down as he works his way off of pit road. And that's just all because of Mike Adamson not pitting yet. He's got a couple drivers sitting a lap down at the moment. Mark Morton here, ready to take that lead away from him once Adamson comes into the pits. The question becomes, what type of strategy is he running? There he comes. He's coming to pit road this time. Now he dropped to the apron coming out of 4. Now he's down there on pit road. The number 33, Mike Adamson. Mark Morton, that's going to hand the lead over to him as soon as he works his way around the racetrack here. As it looks like everybody's working off the backstretch here with the 96 of Matthew Ace being out front of the pack possibly. As a lap down machine, Stephen Shue working his way around. Joining Hurst up here in 11th position right now. So really getting things shaken up here after the green flag pit stops. As Mike Adamson rolls out. There you see Mark Morton go by. They're recapturing that lead. Chris Melton back here with James Wagoner. They got a pack of 4 drivers rolling along. So they may be able to catch Morton here before too long. And I'm going to say it's going to take them a couple laps to do so here as we're working on lap number 30. Out of 75 here tonight. There you see Jeff Scott going underneath the number 28 of John Houston. John Houston going a lap down here to some of the drivers. As the 38, Jeff Scott working there in 6th. Alan Bergen there in 7th. Johnny Hurst there in 8th. Kai Shepard 9th. And Alex rounds out your top 10 as he drives around in that Texaco Abilene machine here tonight. And there you see the 746 and Dale Adamson up there on the high side giving way to the leaders as they come working off of the corner. Some great respect being shown here. We saw some great action earlier in the race, and then we saw some calamity happen. Getting this pack all stretched out like it is right now. Everybody doing, like I said, a great job with heads up racing tonight. As you see, Jeff Scott there, James Wagoner. There's Jeff Scott trying to chase down the second pack. The number 2 of Tim Richardson about to go lap down here to some more drivers. He's already a lap down to the front 5. Chris Ramsey, the next one to be overtaken, possibly, by the front group here. As James Wagoner down there on the inside, as everybody caught up to Mark Morton and has surpassed him. Now Mark Morton has fallen back into 5th. As they work down here through corner number 1 and 2. Side by side, they still are through Talladega's turn number 2 with the 49 of Chris Mountain down there on the inside. Andrew Smith on the outside. And there you see way up there towards the outside wall. That is the 33 of Mike Adamson. Or no, 13 of... I'm sorry, that was the 13 of Chris Ramsey. I'm shouting out wrong car numbers because we've got a couple that look similar here tonight. All right, it was Chris Ramsey up there in the back, getting a lap down there by the front 5 drivers as Jeff Scott leads that second pack around here off of 4, trying to get that momentum, trying to get that group up to the front as we're on board now with Johnny Hurst down here through the tri-oval. And it looks like the 20, is that the 28? That's having issues with connectivity, and I believe it is. The 28 of John Houston having some connectivity issues here tonight with a little bit blink of here, a little blink there. Here and there, a little blink from the 28 of John Houston, if I was catching that right. As there we see, Jeff Scott happened to give up that 6th spot over to Kai Shappert. Now Alex pushing along with Chris Phillips there in 8th. Jeff Scott back here in 9th now as they come working off of turn 4. Quite spread out across the racetrack. As Chris Melton out here in front, James Wagoner 2nd. Andrew Smith down here in corner number 3 and 4. We're on board with Andrew Smith as they work through turn 4 here. James Wagner out front, up there in 2nd, trying to push along Chris Melton. Mark Morton here in 5th. And at number 88, he's got that 13 School Machine. Lap down Chris Ramsey. And there you see another driver blinking out a little bit. That was 79, Matt Warhol. Blink. Kai Shappert here in the 2nd pack, leading it along here in 6th position on lap number 35. Out of 75 here tonight, James Wagner Welding, Gen 6 Series. Everybody doing a great job here tonight with Chris Melton, still our leader of that 1st pack. Kai Shappert leading the 2nd pack. All trying to stay on that lead lap. I think Mike Adamson's back here battling along with the 746 of Dale Adamson. So it's the Adamsons trying to stick together, trying to keep themselves on the lead lap. All right, Chris Melton out there still leading it. Stephen Shue back here in the back. Currently sitting 13th right behind the 66 of Jason Kinney. And Jason Kinney laps down. Lap down, I guess. There's a bunch of drivers. Everybody's either a lap down. Looks like Mikey Davino has brought it back to pit lane here at lap number 36. Everybody out there racing hard up there at the front. Still minding their own. As everybody's just kind of single file, just kind of in for the haul rate at the moment. Trying to get into position for the late run of the race. Matt Warhol here and for Mark Morton there 5th. Kai Shappert rolling along in that 2nd group back here in 6th. So we'll see if by the end of this, if this 2nd pack can catch back up to this 1st pack. Everybody doing a great job there. You see the 1st group coming across the start-finish line. 2nd group coming out of turn number 4. They're coming to the start-finish line now. Double zero. Stephen Shue going to be the next victim here. If not, possibly Mikey Davino being our first one. As the lead pack cars start barreling down. Or no, I'm sorry. There's some more cars between them. That's the 29. 29, Rowdy and Ramsey. Or no, I'm sorry, Ace. Rowdy and Ace trying to run together, but they're going to be caught up here to the pack. So they're going to stick it to the high side. That lead pack's going to drop to the inside, as you'll see coming down here into corner number 1. They give way to the lead. As that lead pack has a little bit more momentum and a little bit more speed than what they are carrying up there on that high side. Once that lead pack goes by, though, they can drop down and start gathering some of that draft to try to stay on that lead lap. And as you saw, Mikey Davino also falling a lap backwards once more. We got James Wagoner sitting second. Big pack starting to get together here. And that's helping this group a little bit try to catch back up there. As long as they keep running single file and don't start to really push too hard, they might be able to catch the last pack. We're coming down with... We're on lap number 40. Gonna be 35 to go as they cross the line. Or, I'm sorry, no, it is 36 to go as the lead pack is working off a 2. That was the second pack coming across the start-finish line down here in the corner number 2. Down the back stretch. Trying to see who that 30... That's the Adamsons running together. Alrighty, down the front stretch, you see Mike Adamson, and sorry about that brief interruption. Just had a little bit noisy background for just a moment here in the booth, but we got that figured out as we got it back under control. Chris Melton. James Wagoner here in second, with Andrew Smith third, Matt Warhol up here fourth, Mark Morton in fifth here at lap number 42 of 75. Now they come storming through corner 2, back here onto the backstretch. Stephen Shue, along with the 66 of Kenny. Kenny already a lap down, at risk of going another lap down. As the Adamsons are up here running together, trying to keep themselves just one lap down. As Adamson's the last car on the lead, Mike Adamson's the last car on the lead lap. As Stephen Shue is the last car on the lead lap. For a brief moment, as that lead pack, led by Chris Mountain, is coming around and looking to pass Stephen Shue. Lap 43 on the board. Now we look at the second pack coming across the line. That's Kai Shappert leading that, as Alex... They're in 7th. And we've got Jeff Scott dipping to the inside, coming down here in the corner number 1 and 2. As we're on board with Alex, as he pushes along that Richard Petty painted machine of Kai Shappert. Down here through 3 and 4 as the leaders are working off of 4. There you see battles starting to heat up. And they come through the tri-oval. And that start-finish line, what's unique about here is that start-finish line is after the tri-oval. Halfway between the tri-oval and turn 1 is where that start-finish line is here at Talladega. Now we're working on lap number 44 now. Up there on the high side, you see Kenny and Shue, as Shue went a lap down now. As the 96 of Matt is now intertwined there. So Stephen Shue actually lost a couple positions. And now Mike Adamson will be the last car on the lead lap. as everybody works off of 2 down here onto the backstretch. Well, scratch that. They're coming around off of 4 down here onto turn number 1. And that second pack working off of 4 down here in through the tri-oval across the stripe. And they come down here into corner number 1. Who has the momentum or the strategy to win here tonight? And I think I misspoke a few laps ago as I was trying to count down how many laps are left. We're currently sitting at 30 to go as they come across the stripe. 30 to go when they cross the stripe. Down here into corner number 1 once again. Everybody, single file. Great racing going on. Race is going by quickly here tonight at this super speedway. Everybody's minding pretty well here. Keeping the cars straight. Working together. Had some calamity throughout the beginning, but once everybody got strung out, now it become everybody trying to keep the pack together. As we see here, this big pack, mixture of lead lap cars and lap down cars. As we're on board with Andrew Smith coming down here through 3 and 4, down through the tri-oval. Kai Shepard leading this second pack still with Alex there in 7th. Chris Phillips in 8th. Jeff Scott there in 9th. Johnny Hurst 10th as they come storming down across the stripe down here into corner number 1. And I hate to say it, but I think that front pack has got enough cars that it's slowly putting a little bit of distance between them and that second pack as they come down here into corner number 3 here at lap number 47. Soon to put lap 47 in the books as they're coming through turn number 4 around to the tri-oval. James Wagoner there second with Andrew Smith there third. Matt Warhol 4th. Mark Morton there 5th. Kai Shepard in 6th with Alex in 7th. Chris Phillips there 8th with Jeff Scott 9th and Johnny Hurst there in 10th. Everybody doing a great job. Single file here as they work down here in the corner number 1 once again as they just got through that restart zone there in that second pack. Off of 2 comes that front pack as we got a battle for the lead as it looks. No, that isn't a battle for the lead. That's lead lap cars trying to pass on the bottom side as lap cars are getting up there on the outside. Matt's trying to stay on the lead lap, getting his lap back the hard way. He's now out front, but he's got to try to make something happen. As he's out there as a lap car, but leading the race. And that's not necessarily the way you want to feel as you know you're a lap down. Just on the verge of being a lap down as you're just a few hundredths of a second in front of the leaders. You got Kai Shepard there as well. I'm sorry, not Kai Shepard, Jason Kinney out there as well as Steven Shue. As they're 3 wide. Those lap machines trying to battle for positions. As well as the leaders are trying to battle for positions. This is quite an interesting scenario to be in. Now we're coming to 26 to go across the stripe. Through the tri-oval, there you see that number 13 machine of Chris Ramsey. 26 laps to go here tonight at Talladega. Chris Melton out front, James Wagoner second. Andrew Smith there in 4th. In 3rd with Matt Warhol there in 4th. Looks to be about 50-second lap times for everybody right at this point in time throughout the race. Now, we've seen 1 pit stop. Will they need another one to finish this race out? That is yet to be seen. Everybody doing a wonderful job keeping them on their toes, working well with everybody down here through that corner. And caution is out with 26 laps to go. And that's going to be Alex and Phillips involved. Oh, here we see it, this second pack. That 20 of Alex comes up into Jeff Scott, gets turned, comes down, and gets into the 6 of Chris Phillips. Chris Phillips heading up the racetrack, collecting Jeff Scott. Phillips going around. Alex going around. Phillips jumped to the pits. Everybody out here working well with Chris Melton as our race leader, 25 to go. Who's going to come to the pits? Now, that's going to help this second pack out a little bit, because it's going to bunch them all back up again. Now, let's take a quick commercial break.
Roughneck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagoner Welding. Wagoner Welding is a family-owned and operated business located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. They specialize in custom-built truck beds and framework of all types. You can reach them at 336-670-3427 or visit the shop located at 446 DeHart Church Road.
All right. Give me one more. All right. As they work off of the pit stops here, we're going to see if we can get with a driver here. See what Mark, we'll see here who we have here. We'll go ahead and we'll get with Mike. Good evening, Mike. Can you hear me in the booth okay?
Yes, sir. I got you.
How's it going tonight?
Not too bad. A little rough. Got off to a rough start there, Rick. Just trying to survive at the moment.
Well, you're currently sitting 7th back on the lead lap. That should help you make you feel a little better.
Absolutely. Yeah, a little bit better. I'm fixing to probably come here and throw a set of tires on her since I'm this far back and maybe top her off with a little bit more fuel.
Well, do you think you have a car to make it to the run? And kind of remind us again who that 33 Skull Bandit paint job as a throwback to.
Harry Gant.
Harry Gant, okay. I remember, I can remember a little bit of seeing that car around, but I couldn't remember who drove it.
Yeah, it's an old Skull Harry Gant paint scheme. I see my son's running an old Michael Waltrip paint scheme tonight.
Mike, yeah, the Napa machine.
Yep, I'm gonna try to get up there and work with him again if I can.
Alrighty, well, good luck to you here with 23 laps to go.
Thank you, guys. Try to put on a show.
All right. Make sure I get him back where he's supposed to be. Yep. He comes off pit road. He's on the lead lap. And as you heard, he took some tires and topped it off with fuel. That way he knows he can make it to the end. So he's going to be a little farther back. He's going to try to get up there, as you heard, and work with his son Dale in that 746 Napa painted Michael Waltrip throwback. See if they can work together to get them up towards the front. Dale is still a lap down. Mike Adamson, though, is on the lead lap. If everything's checking out correctly on my score sheet, Mike Adamson is back on the lead lap. Chris Melton out there in front in at number 49. You got the 88 of Mark Morton, his outside. Now, we kind of saw some different strategies when it came to restarts tonight so far. On the inside lane is where Chris Melton's starting. We saw that last restart, the leader start on the outside. I forget who was up there. But at the start of the race, that inside lane got a really, really great jump on that inside lane and put the front four cars on the bottom side out front very quickly. They come down here, hitting that restart zone very shortly as they come through the tri-oval. And they put the pedal to the metal down here across the stripe. It is green flag racing. And the 88 of Mark Morton gets a great restart out there on the high side. That number 4 of Andrew Smith, not sure which lane he wants to follow with, as he knows he's got some strong contenders. And we got another wreck back here. And big one happening here right at the moment. We got the 79 of Matt Warhol involved, Chris Ramsey involved, possibly Alan Bergen involved. As you see, they get a little squirrely. Jeff Scott gets into the back of the 79. 79 comes down, gets into the 89. Looked like Matt may have got a little bit of damage from it as well. The drivers get back down here on the bottom side of the racetrack, get it straightened out. Hopefully Mike didn't sustain too much damage as he's back up here in 10th now. As we watched last week, Dale kind of won. I think it was Dale that won last week. Dale Adamson won last week. Here at the Super Speedway, it's Mike Adamson out in front of Dale. Got some few takers down here on pit road. Matt Warhol, Mikey DeVino. Now, let's see if we can get with another driver for there. Talk to them about their throwback. Good evening, Tim. Can you hear me in the booth okay?
Yes, sir. I've got you loud and clear.
All right. We're looking at that number 2 here tonight. And I am correct saying that's Rusty Wallace, right?
Yes, sir. It's the Midnight Paint Scheme. I think it debuted in like 92 maybe. But yeah, it's Rusty Wallace.
I can't remember when it debuted, but I thought I had to remember. I was born in 92, but I still remember some of the old paint schemes.
Yes, sir. Not really a Rusty Wallace fan, but I drive the number 2, so it just seemed fitting. Might as well run it.
That's right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Wallace. He was a good driver.
Yeah, I mean, I've got nothing against him. I was always a Mark Martin fan growing up, so.
Oh, okay. You went with the number 6 machine.
Oh, yeah, the old Valvoline car.
Yes. Yes. I get in trouble for who I cheered on.
Who was that?
Gordon.
They just hate him because he won so many races. That's all it was.
The Rainbow Warrior.
Yep, can't go wrong with that. The old Jeff Gordon paint scheme. I'm surprised nobody has that on out here, even though I don't think we have a 24 racing. I'm honestly surprised we don't have any Gordon.
No, there is no Gordons. And I know when I did a throwback paint scheme for myself one time, I threw it back to the old Remington car.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
The old green Remington car.
Gotcha. Trying to figure out what we're doing, trying to get back on the track here. Here we go. All right.
Alrighty, well, good luck to you. Hopefully, you can get back up there towards the front a little bit. I know you're battling a lap down right at the moment.
Yeah, we'll try. I seem to be getting behind all of the wrecks and having to lock up the brakes to avoid hitting anybody, and then I just lost the pack there that first green flag run. Trying to avoid the wreck, checked up too hard, and then couldn't get the momentum back to catch a pack, and just got left hung out to dry there. So
yeah, that's a big problem here at Talladega. You lose that pack, you lose that draft, and you're at the mercy of the track at that point.
yeah, if you lose the draft, you're pretty screwed. Especially
Pretty
in
much.
these Gen 6s. I feel like they lose the draft pretty easy.
The draft in anything, I think, is easy to lose here at Talladega.
Yeah.
So, all right, good luck to you, and hopefully you have an okay night, and hopefully you can get back up here to at least the front of the lap down cars.
Yeah, we're going to try and salvage something here if we can stay green. Let's see what happens.
All right, out with Tim Richardson there, and at number 2, Rusty Wallace painted machine. Can't go wrong with that midnight paint scheme of Wallace. Honestly, that was probably one of my ones that I liked. I really liked of Wallace's. One of my more favorite one of Wallace was that midnight scheme. Definitely a look apart. Another one of my favorites. I didn't care for the driver too much, but another one of my kind of favorite schemes was that chromed out Coors machine, and I want to say, I forget who drove it. And I remember the Ken Schrader, the Lowe's 31 as well. So there's a lot of cool paint schemes out there. I'm surprised that some of them seem pretty limited here tonight on which direction they went. But nonetheless, still some great looking paint schemes. And if you're looking for any paint schemes, Regal Wraps has done quite a few decent looking wraps, if not great looking wraps, in my opinion. We've done, and as you heard, I did the Regal Wraps is who did the throwback of the 38 Remington car. Had it all painted up with my number on it. And we ran that a throwback race, so. Always fun watching the throwback paint races, just to see what the drivers like, see what the drivers are running. Down here in the Tri-Oval, on the way out of the Tri-Oval is that restart zone here with 19 laps to go. Let's hope we get a better restart this time. And it looks like we're going to as they come down here in the corner number 1. Side by side there for second and third is Andrew Smith and Chris Melton. You got that 43 of Kai Shepard trying to push Melton along up there on the high side. And you got that Hot Wheels machine. There's the sight. The two Petty machines running together up there in the front on that high side. Currently running second and third. Kai Shepard and Johnny Hurst out there in that middle lane trying to hold it together. Keep that momentum rolling here with 18 laps to go. But that inside lane trying to get put together and work strong. And I keep an eye on that number 30 of Wagoner. If Wagoner can get that bottom lane cleared, I bet you he would drop down. Instead, he drops up that middle lane, has dismantled some as they come through the Tri-Oval down here in the corner number 1. 3 wide back here we got the 33 of Mike Adamson here in the middle. But caution once again. We'll have to see what this caution is for. See if Jeff Scott can really give us any hint on what happened. We got that running here, and Jeff Scott just gets turned by the 0-1 of Jeffrey Ledford. That's going to bring out our next caution. Here, our fourth caution, 17 to go. Hey, Mikey, you got a copy? Davino, do you have your radio on? All right, well, Davino didn't want to talk. We'll see if we've got anybody else here. Trying to spread the wealth a little bit. Good evening, Alan. Do you got your radio on?
Go ahead.
Not much. Now, tonight was a throwback paint scheme night. What's the red thrown back to?
So the actually the number 89 is actually a family number. It's, my dad used to race street stocks back in the day.
Okay.
So that's the throwback.
It's a throwback to the street stock days, huh? Well, it looks good out there. Just too bad you're not having a little bit better day today. Still, anything could happen though. Sitting back here in 12th position.
Yeah, we're just gonna make our way to the front.
Well, good luck to you here. Hopefully, we can. We've hit a rough patch here. We went green for so long. I always seem to hit a rough patch a little bit. Hopefully, we can get it back green flag racing again.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully we'll be talking to you on the other end of this.
We'll see. Good luck there, Alan.
Thanks, you too, buddy.
All right, that was Alan Bergen there in that number 89 machine. So I was mistaken earlier in the broadcast when I thought it was a throwback to Junior just because of the red. Apparently, it's a throwback to a family member's dirt street stock days, I believe is what if I heard it correctly. Now they work off the corner. 15 laps to go. Kai Shappert worked his way up here to second place. Got Chris Melton down there on the inside. And after our fourth caution, we're going to be green flag racing once again with that Cheerios, driven by that crash test dummy out there in second place. Now trying to work that high side together, but that bottom side very strong. As you see, Johnny Hurst down there on the bottom, pushed along by the 30 of James Wagoner as that bottom lane gets out rolling down there and pulls alongside. Now it looks like Wagner's going to have to fight to try to get up there to the back of the Hot Wheels machine so he can keep a hold of that bottom side. Nobody behind Wagner to help as Wagoner ends up getting pushed into the middle lane. Now we've got them 3 wide here with 14 laps to go. Up there along the outside wall, getting a little loose. As everybody works off of corner number 3 and 4. Tight coming off. We got the 2 Skolsch machines side by side as we got the battle for the lead heating up at the 88 of Mark Morton up there in the top. Johnny Hurst down there on the bottom side in that Hot Wheels machine. Right behind Chris Melton. Chris Melton's been strong all race long. Battling up here towards the front. You got the 4 of Andrew Smith pushing the 88 of Mark Morton along as they're 3 wide right behind them. Coming through that top lane. Everybody's got to try to hold it steady. As that 89 of Alan Bergen. He's working his way to the front. Up there on that very top lane. That middle lane being led by the 88 of Mark Morton. Getting a little loose there coming through the corner. Be careful, guys. You don't want to knock that car too loose. And everybody back, pack racing once again here with 13 laps to go. 3 wide down the front stretch here through the tri-oval. Great battles going on as you see the 4. There's the 28 of John Houston having some problems once again with a little bit of connectivity issues. They're in the middle of the pack. That is not what these drivers want to see. Especially in the middle. As we got Mark Morton out there on the front line of the middle lane. Chris Melton leading that bottom lane as the bottom lane starting to get ahead of steam down the backstretch. As James Wagoner down there in third. Johnny Hurst there in second. Side by side they come. You got that top lane has deformed and they have fallen back as we're now on board with Johnny Hurst back here in second place, pushing along Chris Melton down there on the inside lane as it stands right now. And here comes that top lane once again, or a middle lane rather, with Mark Morton as the leader of it. Down here through corner number 1 and 2. And it looks like that 89 of Alan Bergen is having troubles up there on the top side as there's nobody left to work with him. He's got to try to side draft to his heart content to try to pull that lane along. As he's got the 29 of Pylon Rowdy right there behind him. And out front, it's Mark Morton. There's Alex here in fourth. As you see, you got Chris Melton in third down there on that inside lane. And things can happen in a hurry. So just because he's down there like that does not mean he's going to stay there. As that bottom lane getting that momentum once again coming through the tri-oval. And it's going to be who coming to the line as it's Chris Melton there in third. As that middle lane keeps gaining and losing cars as people battle for positions here with 10 laps to go. Side by side down here through 1 and 2, pushing to the backstretch. James Wagoner here in the middle, 3 wide. As you got Kai Shappert down there on the bottom side. You got the 89 of Alan Bergen up there on the outside. A 00 of Stephen Shue there in the middle. Now on the bottom with the 66 of Jason Kinney there in the middle. Everybody 3 wide, 3 abreast, coming down the backstretch. Now everybody single or double files it back out. You got Morton still out there in lead, out there in that middle lane. That bottom lane trying to gain something here. As we're on board with Andrew Smith coming down here in the corner, number 1 and 2. Right in front of him is Mark Morton, our current leader. On the inside lane, no, that's going to be that number 49 of Chris Melton. Trying to lead it through is John Houston. And that number 28 is working here in fourth now. And they're 3 wide, back in the middle of the pack once again. James Wagoner. And we got trouble. The 6 goes around, and oh no, what a ride from Mike Adams as he gets upside down on his lid. Goes skating along on that top side, and now back down there onto the apron. And then ends up flipping it once. Barrel rolling it. Lands on his lid. Unfortunately, that's going to end it there for the 33 of Mike Adamson, most likely here tonight. So Mike having a great start of the race, ends up being turned as he gets into the back of the 66. 66 comes up, gets into the 6 of Chris Phillips. Chris Phillips goes up the racetrack, gets into the outside wall. The 89 puts his nose in there, not realizing they're already 3 wide. And the 89 turns the 6, and the 33 gets a heck of a shot, gets flipped upside down, giving us a great view of the underside of the Gen 6 race car as we go skidding down here through turn and down onto the apron. And then once he hits the apron and hits that grass, you'll see that it digs in a little bit and flips it back over, but it doesn't stay on the tires. It flips completely over back onto its lid. I don't have the right one. There you see, here comes the contact. And you see, he tries to correct it, ends up coming there. He seems straight, and then he gets tagged from behind, and he can't do nothing about it. And there you see, there he goes, rolling upside down, and there's the view from the inside of Michael Adams. Tries to hang on to it there. He goes skating down. All he sees is pavement underneath him. And then he'll come skating down here into that apron. And you'll see that grass come from the left-hand side here. Right about... Oh, here we're coming off the racetrack now, down there on the apron. There comes the grass. He'll catch it. It digs in, flips it over, almost, not quite, as it rolls completely back on its roof. And not how he wants to end his night. There for Mike Adamson. Now we're under caution another time here. As we're going to take one last commercial break, hopefully, and come back for the conclusion of the James Wagoner Welding Gen 6 Series.
Roughneck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagoner Welding. Wagoner Welding is a family-owned and operated business located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. They specialize in custom-built truck beds and framework of all types. You can reach them at 336-670-3427 or visit the shop located at 446 DeHart Church Road.
All right, we're back, still under caution here with 7 laps to go. Going to be 6 laps to go here when they come across the stripe. This is our 5th caution of the evening. Everybody, side by side, lining back up now. 1 lap to green. And when we go green, it's going to be 5 laps to go. here in the James Wagoner Welding Gen 6 Series here tonight. And we're all side by side here tonight. Getting ready to roll with 5 laps to go when they take the green flag. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the racing here tonight, here on the pole, brought to you by Fleeger Farm TV. Down here in the corner, number 1 they come. Mark Morton gets out to a great restart, gets out there to an early jump, and up there onto that lead as he's got the 4 of Andrew Smith helping him along through that middle lane. That middle lane being pretty strong right now as they work off of corner number 2. Down here into corner number 3 they come. Drivers are only going to get more anxious, a little bit more daring as the lap wind down here. As you see, Chris Melton drop down there to the inside lane. Down here, working through 3 and 4 in front of Alex in that number 20. Andrew Smith up there in that 4 machine trying to push along Mark Morton. And there behind, it's going to be 3 wide there for 4th, 5th, and 6th. As they work down here off of the corner. Now that has drifted back a little bit as they're 3 wide. Back farther in the pack now as the front 3 or 4 rows are double file. And we're getting tight back here in the back. That's Stephen Shue in the middle, and he's going to put Kenny loose. Kenny holds on to it. Looks like that number 6 machine of Chris Phillips ducked out to try to give Shue some room so that they can keep on racing here with 4 laps to go. Up here at the front, though, it's still Mark Morton leading it away. Down here through 3 and 4. Everybody up there in that middle lane trying to get up there and get into position here for the closing laps. John Houston there in 3rd. And that 28 machine got Johnny Hurst up there to his outside. He's got that number 49. Chris Melton there coming to his inside. Johnny Hurst has a great runner there with him with James Wagoner up there in the top. Other known in the sport here as Doogie. Down here in the corner number 2. That outside lane trying to work around John Houston there in the middle. We got one sideways. Trying to see who that was sideways back here as we stay green. Or no, I'm sorry, caution will come out as Alex got sideways. It's going to be green-white checker here. That's our first attempt at a green-white checker here this evening. There you see the 2 getting into the back of the 20, gets him spun around. He comes up the racetrack, almost clips Dale Adamson, but ends up keeping it straight down here into the bottom of the racetrack. And caution will be out to bring out a green-white checker. So 3 laps to go. Decisions. What do you do as a driver? it is decision time. What kind of moves, what kind of strategies do you take? As you know, it's a green-white checker now. It'll come to the flag. It'll be 2 laps to go. Come around again, you'll get the white flag. The next flag ends it. A lot of these drivers up front, of all you that are in the chat watching, who do you kind of pick to win this race here tonight? We got Mark Morton, who's been really strong. Andrew Smith's been strong here tonight. Johnny Hurst, really strong, up 17 positions. As the likes of Mark Morton, also up 17 positions. So a couple big moves up there in the front. Andrew Smith there in second. He's up 8 spots. James Wagoner up 5. Chris Melton back here in 9th, or in 8th. He's up 9 positions from where he started. So definitely some good names here. We'll have to see how this all plays out. Yeah, everybody doing a great job working their way down the backstretch side by side. Down here around corner 3 and 4. Again, green-white checker here for the James Wagoner Welding Gen 6 Series this Monday evening. Hope everybody's enjoying the racing so far. Great racing has had tonight. 2 wide, 3 wide, pushing hard, single file racing, some calamity, stretching the field out. Man, exciting to watch. So as long as these drivers can get the green, come back around for the white flag, the next flag, whether it be the checker flag or the yellow flag, will end the race here tonight. Three laps to go. Going to be 2 when they take the green flag. Green, white checker incoming for the James Wagoner Welding Gen 6 Series here tonight. Down here in the corner number 1 they come. Down the back stretch. Sorry, getting confused already. 2 laps to go. So if they can come around this third turn and keep it green as they are 3 wide once again through 3 and 4. As long as they can keep it together down through this trioval. It will be white flag, and they're going 4 wide to come across the line. 2 rows deep, 4 wide, 5 wide, white flag, and there's the caution. So they're going to race it around to this is the final lap. The caution will not fly. Now it is all or nothing for these drivers as it's coming here to the end. And this is when calamity really can start picking up. As you see, 4 wide, 5 wide trying to happen there in the middle of this pack that's left. Down here in the corner number 4, Chris Melton up there in the 49, up there on the high side, being pushed along by quite a few drivers. Now that gets all spun around. There you see James Wagoner get spun around, the 28 around there. James Wagoner taking a hard hit into that outside wall. Down here on the inside, that's Chris Melton. He's battling hard there on the inside as they come down through. 3 abreast for 2nd and 3rd. And it's going to be Johnny Hurst down there on the inside trying to push along. And it's going to be Mark Morton for the win. Andrew Smith there 2nd. Johnny Hurst finishing 3rd here tonight as the unofficial results. As we come all across, let's check to see what our results will be. And Mark Morton is our race winner here tonight. Everybody trying to get across the line, trying to see where everybody finishes. And there's our list so far. It is Mark Morton as your race winner. Andrew Smith there in 2nd. Johnny Hurst there 3rd. Chris Melton 4th with Kai Shappert there 5th. Stephen Chu finishing the night in 6th with Chris Ramsey there in 7th. Pyland there in 8th with Ace finishing 9th. Alex there in 10th. And Alan Bergen there in 11th. James Wagoner 12th. John Houston 13th. Jason Kinney in 14th. Jeff Scott finishing the night in 15th. Tim Richardson in 16th. Dale Adamson 17th. In 18th tonight is going to be Chris Phillips. Mikey DeVino 19th. Mike Adamson there in 20th. Matt Warhol there in 21st. And Jeffrey Ledford finishes tonight in 22nd. Let's see who we got around here to be able to catch. Good evening here, Johnny. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going good. How are you, bud?
All right. You got 3rd place tonight. Congratulations. A little bit of calamity to work through there that final lap.
I didn't copy that, man. You broke up.
Oh man, this dang thing. I don't know what's going on with my Discord.
It's all right.
And see, my Discord keeps cutting my mic in and out, and I don't understand why. What I was trying to say is you got 3rd. Congratulations on that, and you had some calamity there on that last final lap.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's just going for the win, though. It's, it's just a little fun all-star race we throw together with a throwback paint scheme. So, I mean, everybody wants to win it. Everybody wants top 3, so some stuff's going to happen, I guess.
It's Dega, right?
It's Dega.
Typical Dega. I mean, it definitely put on an exciting show. I mean, there was times during them last 2 laps there, you guys were 3, 4 wide, almost 5 wide in places farther back in the pack.
Oh, yeah. Dega always puts in some good racing. It's fun to race in packs, especially when you get some good green flag racing in there. And, Dega, it's always fun.
Well, congrats on that 3rd place. Who's your sponsors or shout-outs you want to give here tonight?
Man, I want to shout out Wagner's Welding. They're just awesome sponsor. It's great that we have them on board. They do a lot for this league. Not many leagues. And I probably just, you can count them on one hand. how many gives trophies out each race, and man, it's just an awesome sponsor. Definitely want to shout them, Wagner's Welding out. So.
Alrighty, well, again, congrats on that third place, and great looking paint scheme there. Throwback to Kyle Petty, if I got the
Yeah, man, appreciate it.
Correct. So, all right, congrats. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Well, that was Johnny Hurst, our third place finisher. We're going to get with Andrew Smith now. Andrew, how's it going?
It's going good.
That paint scheme tonight, that's a throwback to Stewart.
Say that again?
I said that paint scheme you're running tonight, is that a throwback to Tony Stewart?
Yes, it is.
Uh-huh.
Throwback to Old Smoke. Grew up a Tony Stewart fan.
Well, you got second tonight. Had to avoid some things throughout the race, I'm sure. Typical Dega stuff. But kind of take us through your night here. Was it as pretty good racing out there from what we could see here in the booth?
It was really good racing. Didn't even have to use a fast repair tonight. Only had a 4X that was from a small bump in the rear. Stayed super clean tonight. Didn't have really any issues, and was able to keep up there with Mark Morton, and he was in my chat tonight, so we were able to stick together and just we kind of had our way towards the end. We had to find our way to the front, but towards the end there, we were just kind of having our way with the entire field just by ourselves, so overall, really good night.
Well, that's great to hear. I mean, great performance there out of that 4 machine here tonight. Who's your sponsors you want to give a shout out to here for helping you finish second?
I'm sorry, you lagged out. I didn't hear what
man,
you just
this
said.
dang Discord, I'm telling you. I don't know what, I got to figure out what's going on with it. Who's your sponsors you want to give shout out to here tonight?
We always want to give a shout out to James Wagoner's Welding for allowing us to do this and giving out a trophy for every race. Got to give a shout out to Mag Real Estate for sponsoring this as well, and got to give a shout out to my teammates, especially Mark Morton tonight. Not typically in our chat, but was tonight. We were able to stick together and have our way with these guys tonight, so it was super fun.
Alrighty, well, congrats there to you and for getting that second place, and hopefully we'll see you on next week's race whenever I looked at the schedule earlier, but now I forget where you guys are heading.
Well, I will be here next week.
Yeah, you'll be here next week?
I will be here next week.
Going to Charlotte.
Yep, not a big fan of Charlotte, but I'll be there.
Alrighty. Well, we'll see how well you do there. I've heard that saying before. Well, it's not one of my better tracks, and then they come out and finish top 5 or something.
Well, I mean, I've won there, so it could happen.
Alrighty. Well, we'll see if you can win there again next week. You have a great night.
Sounds good. You as well.
That was Andrew Smith there, our second place winner. Now we're getting with Mark Morton, our winner. Good evening, Mark. How's Victory Lane here tonight?
It's very filling. I got some phenomenal chicken parm and broccoli pasta.
So you worked up an appetite taking that win, huh?
Oh yeah, my it was nerve-wracking as all get out.
Well, you come out with the win here tonight. Sitting there on the finish line, we saw a puff of smoke from that car. I think you kind of expired that engine there at the end of the night.
Yep, I may have gave her too many horses right, trying to burn it down one last time before I leave for about 9 weeks.
So, alrighty. Well, congrats here on your victory tonight. Who's your shout-out you want to give here for helping you get that victory?
Definitely, first and foremost, without a doubt, Andrew. Like he was saying, we kind of had our way with the field. They are running the inside because each caution we were strategizing it. If we run to the bottom, they could pass us on the outside, and if we run the middle, we can at least block the inside or the outside. Definitely Matt as well and Jimmy. Unfortunately, bad luck for both of them, but they were able to still rebound decently. But I do know come Wednesday, hopefully, they'll dodge the bad luck and excuse me, and we can all four duke it out. But definitely, Dougie for putting on one hell of a show. You for broadcasting. Really, everybody in this league. They're all a bunch of great guys, and from the bottom of my heart, I'm gonna miss every single one of them for the next 9 to 10, even maybe even longer weeks.
Oh wow, well, hopefully you take it easy, and we'll hopefully see you back.
That's the game plan. Sorry, I was eating my last bite. I really am hoping. um, so I'll tell it to you. I don't mind sharing it to you in the public that are watching. I'm rejoining for the Army, and I leave on this coming Sunday for boot camp again because I was out for more than 5 years. So I go back to boot camp for 9 weeks and 4 days, and then after that, I'm moving everything from Cartersville, Georgia, all the way up to Colorado Springs, Colorado. So it's going to be a long haul. Everything's going to be a long, hectic mess. But the game plan is to, once I get everything settled down, moved into the house with the family, I'll be back up and running. And this is definitely going to be one of the leagues that I hope I have a spot. I hope there's a place for me when I come back.
I think they'll have a spot for you. I don't think you're going to replace you that easy.
I mean, it's kind of hard to. I want to say it's kind of hard.
Put it this way: it'd probably be easier to replace me than it is you.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. You're a hell of a broadcaster.
Well, I've been replaced once before.
Well, those people are IoT guesses.
Oh. But it happens. It's the nature of the beast. It happens. There's no hard feelings anywhere. But just keep moving forward, and that's hopefully what you can keep doing. And maybe you can get with Regal Wraps right before you come back, and maybe we can do up something special for your return.
You cut out again, buddy.
I said hopefully when you can catch up with Regal Wraps before you make your return, and we can do you something up special for that night.
I would be completely honored.
So we'll look forward to hearing from you, hearing your return, and hopefully whenever you do return, you'll put more of a show.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Just throughout the next throughout the next couple months, just keep an eye out for me in the chat. I definitely going to be jumping in the chat and talking to you and cheering on some of my buddies in the league.
No, most definitely, it'll let us know that you're doing okay too. So.
Oh yeah, you can. I'll definitely be living the dream.
if that's what you want to call it. Thank you for your service, and look forward to hearing from you again. And you have a wonderful night there, Mark.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the appreciate the support from everybody. You have a good night, buddy.
You too. All right, so that's Mark Morton here tonight, and we're gonna go ahead and sound off here for the night. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the racing. Hopefully you all catch back here with us on Sunday will be our next one because we're going to take Wednesday night off. Saturday I am away, going to try to produce something special for us on Saturday. So we'll see how it goes. So congrats again to all the winners here tonight. And we'll catch you around. Thank you all for watching.